Hey HealthNuts, welcome back to HealthNut Nutrition. My name's Nikole and I cannot believe I am filming my first trimester video. Like, how am I even pregnant? I don't even know. Like, I'm now in my second trimester. I'm actually 14 weeks as of yesterday. Baby is the size of a peach today and is growing very fast. I'm feeling it, very hungry. Lots of things already happening in the second trimester, which I'm excited to tell you about in the next series. Time goes slow during your first trimester, but also now, like, looking back, it went pretty fast and I'm already like almost halfway through my pregnancy and it's crazy. So I feel like I just got pregnant yesterday and I just have so much to update you guys on because I feel like I got pregnant at a really weird time. You know, they say no time is the best time, or whatever the saying goes. There's no like perfect time to get pregnant and have a baby. You just gotta do it and not wait for that perfect time. And let me tell you, being pregnant for the first time during a world pandemic is an interesting one and not something I would ever think to experience, but I'm hoping you can't see my legs because I really need to shave them. Yeah, that helps. Let's put a pillow there. Yeah, it was definitely an interesting ride because of everything going on in the world. A lot of uncertainties, and there still is a lot of uncertainties, and it was a lot. I found out, actually made some notes so I wouldn't forget. I've been meaning to film this video for a bit. As I mentioned, I'm 14 weeks and I actually finished my first trimester a couple weeks ago. So I'm a little late filming this, but I'm still like, it's still fresh in my head, so I wanted to get this out. So it's gonna be a very relaxed, chatty video because I just want to pretend like I'm chatting with a girlfriend. But we're gonna be real in today's video, and I want to tell you some useful things, but also just give you the truth on how I felt. And I just feel like we need more real videos like this because you hear all about the happy stuff about being pregnant, and when you don't experience all that stuff, you feel very alone and like there's something wrong. And I want to talk about that in today's video. So get ready. I found out I was pregnant at 5 weeks. So how I found out, I don't know if I mentioned this in my pregnancy, like me reacting to being pregnant video, but basically I started noticing that I was kind of late for my period and I was getting cramps, which I later found out was called implantation cramping. I thought for like a good week, I thought I was gonna get my period. I even took an Advil because I thought like I get really bad cramps, and I thought, oh, it's gonna be bad because I'm like a little delayed and I am usually so regular with my period. I use a tracking app called Cycle, and it basically tells you when you're gonna have your period, also when you're ovulating and all that, like when you're fertile. So I was using that, and I basically went, after a week of not getting my period, I finally went and got a pregnancy test. Oh, sorry, no. After a week of not getting my period, I looked up cramps but no period, and right away came up implantation cramping. And it basically said that like you're pregnant. So, well, it said like the implantation cramping usually only lasts like a couple of days, but mine lasted like a full week. So anyways, turns out I'm pregnant, so it was implantation cramping. So if that happens to you, you could be pregnant and if you're not getting your period, but there could be other reasons too. So don't stress if you're like not ready for a baby. So yeah, 5 weeks, I ended up doing a test, finding out I was pregnant. You guys saw all that. What I did was I started watching some YouTube videos online about first trimesters and like how to get prepared. I felt like in the first week that I found out I was pregnant, I was doing so much research, and then it kind of just dropped off from there. Like I set myself up with I checked out 2 different pregnancy apps and ended up going with one called Bump, which I really, really like. I highly recommend it. It's free. It's very like, it's positive but informative, and it's very like visually pleasing if you are that, like you like to see things visually. I just really like it and I highly recommend it. And it tells you like how much the baby weighs, what it's doing, what like symptoms like you may be experiencing, and also a 3D image of the baby and your body. It's really cool. I'll insert some screenshots of it, but it's really cool. And then basically I remember my app was like, at week 6, you may experience some nausea, and I felt fine. I was like, oh, I don't even know I'm pregnant. Like I felt fine. Week 6 comes around, like it was like overnight. That was a really bad snap. Overnight, I went from feeling great to not so great. It lasted from a good 6 to 12 weeks, basically till the end of my first trimester. I don't even want to call it morning sickness. It was just all day nausea. And it's kind of like this lingering motion sickness feeling. And you know, I didn't feel good if I didn't eat. I didn't feel good if I ate. I felt like I was just like really sick. And all I wanted was like broth or like white carby food or cheese, like very easy to digest foods. I wasn't really eating much like nutrient dense foods because I felt ill. It was like when you're sick at home with the flu or whatnot and you just don't feel like eating anything, like you got the stomach bug. It's like that. I remember relating it to being hungover, but I didn't go out drinking the night before. It was awful. So if you have ever been hungover, it's like that again and again and again and again. Kind of drives yourself crazy. But a couple things that I did while we're talking about nausea that really, really helped was making sure, even if you didn't feel like it, to eat. You gotta eat like in general, but I would, if I didn't feel like having a big meal, then I would eat small meals and I would just eat what I could, and definitely felt better when I would eat food as opposed to not. And there were times where I would look back and be like, I really did not eat that much food in the past week, and I would try and incorporate more food. Because when you're not feeling well, you just, I don't know, food is like the last thing on your mind when you feel like you're super nauseous and you're gonna throw up. I never actually threw up. I had like spells of like dry heaving and stuff, but I wouldn't even say it's better if you don't throw up. Like I just felt like that constant wanting to throw up feeling. So it's definitely uncomfortable, but eating small meals and just keeping on top of that really helped. Other things that really helped my symptoms was drinking a ton of water. Oddly enough, drinking water is known to be very relaxing. I don't know why, but it's calming, but also it's really good for you. So I was drinking a ton of water. I'd wake up, chug 2 glasses of water, and I would just like literally have my water bottle with me everywhere. Sniffing peppermint oil, helped so much. Like just smelling it, putting it under my nose made the world of a difference. And also making some ginger tea. I would take raw ginger, slice it, put it in a mug, put some hot water over top, and just let that like steep for a couple minutes, drink that, and that really helped. I never ended up getting it, and like I could still get it, I guess, because I'm still experiencing like spells of nausea, but the little C-bands that you put on your wrist, I've heard those really help too. So I will link all those things that I mentioned down below. You can also just buy ginger tea, which I had as well, but I really liked the raw ginger. And essential oils helped. They still help me so much for emotional support. Lavender, Peace and Calming is an amazing blend. Valor, I've now fallen in love with Valor, and I know why it's everyone's favorite blend. Amazing. And I have just been really like using oils throughout my whole pregnancy for different things, and I'll talk more about other things that I've been using now in my second trimester. But like I said, the peppermint oil for the nausea, just sniffing it, amazing. And then at night, there's a roller blend called Tranquil that has like Roman chamomile and lavender and cedarwood, which are amazing for sleep. And I was actually out of it during the time I was having like really bad insomnia, and I ordered it, and I swear like my sleep has improved since having it back in my life. Coincidence? I don't know, but I love it. So yeah, the nausea, definitely not fun, and it kind of just like swallows you up, but just know it gets better. Another thing I noticed right off the bat, what was really intense, were my boobs were so sore. Like to the point where I would tell Matt, like, don't even poke them as a joke. Like they're so sore. Like I got hit by a truck or someone punched me in the chest. And that was like the first main thing that I noticed in my body, like growing. And even now, like they've definitely gotten bigger. And I started quickly noticing like I wasn't comfortable in regular bras. So that is one thing I would recommend, is get yourself some good bralettes, really comfy bras, or just go braless if you can, because like it is so uncomfortable and they get really painful. So apparently a lot of people experience that, because obviously your boobs are getting prepared for breastfeeding and the baby, and they start to grow. Another thing that I definitely noticed, and this is kind of with the nausea, but like food aversions. There were already foods I couldn't eat. Definitely some of them were eggs, fish. I can eat seafood. I can eat like shrimp and like calamari and I actually ate crab in my first trimester, funny enough. But I can eat seafood, but not fish. Like the thought of a piece of salmon right now, bleh, not for me. Very flavorful things like garlic and onion, like raw or just too much of it, no bueno. Sour foods, it's funny, people always think like pickles are like a pregnant lady's food. Maybe later, but like right now I can't do anything fermented. I couldn't do olives, kimchi, sauerkraut. Oh, like yeah, pickles could not do. It was just too acidic in my stomach. Like I would eat it and then immediately regret it. So those are definitely things I could not eat. Besides, oh, and tomato sauce. Once again, like tomatoes are kind of acidic. I could eat them fresh in a salad, but not cooked down. And I really wasn't craving a ton of salad. It was really, the only like healthy thing that I could stomach was a green smoothie in the morning, and it was only because Matt was making them for me every morning. God bless him, he's the best. Once I realized like I need to get nutrition in my body, that's when I started introducing the green smoothies back, because I definitely was off of them for a couple of weeks and noticed a big difference, so that helped. Foods that made me feel really good was like dairy. So much dairy. I ate yogurt, cheese, Gouda specifically. Like those are just, oh, and like citrus. Oh my God. Guys, I have like an obsession for citrus right now, and I still do. Clementines, blood orange, grapefruit. I can't really do lemons unless it's like in a salad dressing because it is a bit acidic, but like, oranges for me are so good. And also like very watery fruits. So watermelon, mango, a lot of tropical fruits. I'm like salivating right now because that's all I want right now. And then I would eat a ton of cream cheese. There's a specific one that I really like. It's from the brand Arla. It's like 3 ingredients, super clean and healthy. And I would just eat that with Mary's crackers all the time. And then sometimes I put the cream cheese on toast. But that was like my diet. Fruit and dairy, and then like sometimes soup. And it was amazing. And that's what kind of got me going. So once I started to get my appetite back, foods that I really enjoyed have been fresh guacamole, just not even adding too much things. Like I couldn't do garlic or anything, as I mentioned, but just mashed up avocado with a little bit of lime juice and fresh tomatoes with salt and black pepper. So good. Lots of fresh fruit, as I mentioned, green smoothies in the morning, soups, and really simple pastas like pasta, olive oil, some rapini, no like creamy sauce or tomato sauce, and then sometimes shrimp. Were really, really good. And with the sleep, definitely waking up in the middle of the night to pee has been kind of annoying, but I feel like I just drink so much water that it's like inevitable that I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night. Around 10 weeks, I started to get midnight hunger. Not even midnight, it was like probably like 3 or 4 in the morning. I get up, go pee, and then my stomach is rumbling and I have to have a snack or otherwise I can't go back to sleep. So I would have these Danone yogurt cups. I have like my fridge stacked with like my go-to snacks. The Danone yogurt cups with no sugar added. They come in a bunch of different flavors. The cherry and the mango are my favorite, and those I swear I eat like 5 a day. And the Baby Bell Gouda cheeses, those are and crackers. I would just lay in bed, eating my crackers, my cheese and my yogurt, and have a little picnic. And then I would be able to go back to bed. So that was my midnight munchies. And then lastly, I definitely experienced bloating, taking longer for my body to digest food. I found like if I would eat a big meal, it would take my body like 4 hours to digest it. So I couldn't just like eat a big meal and then lay down. I would feel really upset in my stomach. So making sure to not overeat. So I would eat until I was full and then wait a bit and then eat again if I was still hungry. Instead of like eating all at once and then feeling really, really uncomfortable. So that was definitely something that I experienced. It's definitely getting better now. But for the bloating, I would drink ginger tea, or I have this oil blend called DiGize, and I just roll it in a clockwise motion on my stomach, and really, really helped relieve that like tight bloating feeling, it helped so much. So I will put all the oils that have been really helpful during my first trimester down below for you guys. For me, they're like, it's a no-brainer. They're like a natural way to get some relief and make me feel better, and I don't have to worry about, you know, any toxins or taking pills, because like I feel like as soon as I told my doctor that I was having nausea, she was like ready to write me a nausea, like an anti-nausea prescription. So I definitely liked that I can just use like ginger and peppermint and stuff to help me with that. Now, aside from like all the nausea that I was having, the biggest thing that I think was hard for me to deal with in my first trimester was the fact that I'm pregnant for the first time in a world where I had never experienced something like this happening, with the whole pandemic, and just a lot of like fear and anxiety was going through my mind. And you guys know I've dealt with anxiety for a very long time, and it did not get better when pregnant, I will tell you that. Hormones, they're a bitch. I definitely had a few weeks where I was so sad. I felt kind of like depressed, you know, not having like my mom. I'm very close with my family and just feeling very distant. Matt has still been working this whole time, so he's been commuting to Toronto every day. Driving, not taking like public transportation, but it was just like me and Cashew most of the time. Me and Cashew have never been closer. And I kind of took a step back from work. I was just kind of home on the couch, feeling sorry for myself, not feeling good. And I think it was like a snowball effect where, you know, I didn't have that much to do. I wasn't feeling good and I was out of my routine. No one could come visit and check up on me. And I was just like, I got to a point I'd be like FaceTiming my mom every day crying. And I know that sounds really dramatic, but like when your hormones are in full blown mode, you're not rational. You're all over the place, and yeah, you're emotional. You're not thinking straight. I just kind of felt very scared about being pregnant. I had all these anxieties. I wasn't sleeping, and that was a huge thing for me, was the no sleep. I had a good week where I had really bad insomnia, and I realized that a couple things that I think really helped me, because I want this not to scare you from getting pregnant, or if you are pregnant, but a couple things that really helped me was talking to someone. I started to see someone every single week and just do like virtual talking therapy, which helped so much to just get things off my chest that I was thinking about pregnancy and all these fears and anxieties I had. Also just moving. I think being home on the couch all day, I wasn't releasing all this anxiety and built up energy I had, and it was resulting in me not being able to sleep at night. So if you don't like use up that energy, it's just going to build up, and you're resting all day, you're just not going to be that tired to go to bed at night. So I started to do long walks. Like Cashew and I would go for an hour and a half walk. Especially if it was sunny, I would just take advantage, and that was like therapy for me. I started reading in the mornings, which I never read fiction. If you guys have been following me on Instagram, you would know I've been reading Harry Potter. I read the first book in my first trimester, and I am almost done the second book, and I'm really enjoying it. The goal is to read all of them during my pregnancy. So I definitely would suggest get a hobby, whether that's reading or walking. I definitely did not feel like exercising at all. And so like walking was like a way for me to move my body in a low impact way that I felt good. Yeah, I would just walk until I didn't feel like crap anymore. And it really helped with my mood, with my sleep, with the nausea, getting the fresh air. It really made a difference. So I highly recommend that. And just talking about what you're feeling, because those feelings are real. And like I many times would just come to Matt bawling and telling him what was on my chest, and it helped so much just to let it out. All these like things that I was thinking, whether I was guilty of these thoughts or not, I would just talk to Matt about them, and then I realized that they were just really irrational and I was just being silly, and putting them out there into the world actually helped kind of diminish those beliefs that I was like building up in my head. And then I just kind of started like asking for help. Like I would tell my mom like I was really struggling with eating, and I had no desire to cook. Like everyone kept asking me for recipes on Instagram and stuff. Like, why aren't you doing recipe videos? I had no desire to cook. Like the thought of even being in the kitchen and cooking and prepping ingredients was nauseating to me. So I just call my mom and ask her like, Mom, I'm really craving like chicken and rice soup. Do you think you could make that for me? And you know, she'd make me a batch and I would come and pick it up, and I was like getting takeout from my mom's. And I think it's totally okay to like ask people for help. You know, if you're not feeling good, it's okay. Just acknowledge it. And if that means you have to ask your mom for a bowl of chicken noodle soup, then do it, because it will end. And I just want to stress that when I was going through the deep, dark moments of my first trimester, which now that I'm out of it, I realize like so many people say, oh God, first trimester is like the worst. But also too, I think it's important to remind yourself that it does end. You will feel better. Now that I'm in my second trimester, I cannot tell you the difference I feel. I feel more like myself, more energy. And like I said, I'll save that for the second trimester video, but it's crazy. As soon as you start ending that first trimester, it's like your different symptoms start appearing, but like old ones start disappearing. And you know, it's different for everybody. And like, I still have nausea and there's still new symptoms that are coming that aren't fun, but that hormone, anxiety, no sleeping, irrational me, I feel like has leveled out. And it took me a while to come to terms with and accept that I'm pregnant. And that may sound weird because like Matt and I wanted to have a kid. This was planned and not something that just came out of nowhere. But at the same time, you know, this is my first time being pregnant. And if it is for you too, I think it's totally normal to be scared and feel uncomfortable in your body and the changes that are about to come. And like the idea, anytime I would think of like me being like full 9 months pregnant, it would just freak me out. And I would think of like how uncomfortable that would feel. And then I had to like let my body really accept the fact that like I am pregnant. And it took a few weeks, and now I can honestly say that, you know, I'm really at a place that I'm trying to enjoy the process and look at it as a gift. And it is truly a gift. Like women around the world, you know, a lot of women can't get pregnant, or they go through crazy like different procedures and tests and needles every day to get pregnant. And I am so grateful that I've been given this experience and opportunity to grow a baby. And I remind myself that every day. And I think once I thought of it as a more positive thing and started just like accepting it and not fighting it, is where I really came to a healthy relationship in my mind and in my body with the pregnancy. So I just want to talk about that because I sometimes think it can look all like rainbows and butterflies about being pregnant. And like there obviously are going to be so many exciting things. And there is exciting things about being pregnant. But at the end of it, you get a baby. And like I think that's what I need to focus on. And that's what I have been focusing on. And you know, this is the most like crazy thing I've ever had to go through, especially with the world right now. But I truly think, well, I know now, you know, everything happens for a reason. And I believe this baby came at the exact moment it needed to. And it has already taught me so much about myself, and I'm stronger than I think. Overcoming all the anxieties and worries I had about being pregnant during a time where it was so scary around the world, and like I was at risk being pregnant and all of that. I think I'm just really proud of myself, and give myself a little pat on the back. But I just want to be honest, because if you're feeling icky and down and you feel like you should be all happy and excited when you're pregnant, just know it's totally normal. It's okay. You are entitled to feel however you're feeling. And and don't be ashamed about different thoughts that are coming up and stuff, because I think that's just like our body adjusting to like all these changes that are happening. And like as I progress my pregnancy, I'm understanding that, and I'm realizing that, okay, the body is made to do this. Everything I'm experiencing is totally normal. I can do this. I can get through it. There is an end. I won't be pregnant forever. And I just want to enjoy the process as opposed to fight it, like I said. So that was my spiel. Let me just see if there's anything else that I wanted to talk about. I also had my first doctor appointment. I had it a bit late because of everything going on. I had to do a virtual call with my doctor. which was a little weird. And actually she's pregnant too. So I talked to her just about, you know, that we're pregnant and like what we should be doing. And then she was able to book us for our first blood work and ultrasound, which Matt couldn't come for either. He had to wait outside, sadly, which was a little upsetting, especially with the ultrasound. But seeing the baby for the first time in the ultrasound, like it was a little bit weird because obviously like everyone's wearing masks, and I felt like, I don't know, it was a very weird feeling. So it wasn't as like heartfelt and like cozy and comforting as I would have hoped. But I got to see the baby and the little heartbeat, which was beating so fast, and that was really cool. So I actually got a photo and I think a little video footage because they then quickly said I wasn't able to film. So I'll insert that here. But that was really special, and I was FaceTiming Matt in the room while seeing the baby on the screen, and baby is healthy and doing well, and I probably am due for my next checkup soon. Last but not least, I didn't have this in my notes but it just came to me, is vitamins. Definitely have been taking prenatals during my whole first trimester. I actually have been taking prenatals for a long time. Two of the brands that I've been taking, first one was, I forget, NFH, I think is the brand name. I'll put it here. But then they were sold out, so then I switched to Thorn. So both of them I really, really like. So I've been taking that as well as a magnesium. I've been taking a iron supplement as well as like vitamin D, K, fish oils, and I just started taking a probiotic. So, and then other supplements that I've been adding to my smoothie have just been my vanilla plant-based protein powder as well as collagen. I will link the brands that I use down below. Those have been awesome. And just really being mindful when it comes to my food to add in that protein and those healthy fats, because I feel like in the beginning of my first trimester when I wasn't feeling good, I was eating a lot of like quick digestible carbs and stuff like that, and I really needed those satiating foods to feel more mentally calm and also just full. And I think that also is what had helped me get better sleep. So I hoped this video was helpful. It was probably very rambly. I don't even know how long it is, but I just had a lot to talk about, a lot of new experiences, and it's definitely been a journey. But I'm excited to keep sharing with you guys what it's like being pregnant for me for the first time. We still don't know if it's a boy or girl, but I won't tell you what I think it is. We'll wait for the next video. But it's just like, it's been such a crazy ride, and I cannot believe at the end of this year, like Matt and I are gonna have a baby. Like that's so crazy to think that we're gonna be parents. My due date is November 3rd. So it's a Scorpio baby, which kind of scares me. Sorry if you're a Scorpio, but I just feel like they have fiery personalities. But you know what? I'm a Libra and I was a crazy child. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I just like following up on like horoscopes and stuff. But yeah, I'm really excited to continue to share my journey being pregnant. Oh, and a bump update. People want the bump update. Okay, hang on. Let me. Okay, so what you all came for, apparently it's a thing. People want to see the bump. I'll show you guys. So there's not really that much of a bump. I definitely felt like I was bigger a couple weeks ago, but I think that was mainly like food belly and bloat. But yeah, like I feel like it's kind of settled down now, and I've eaten, oh, there's like marks on my stomach from my jeans, but I feel like I had a huge lunch and it's not as big as it was a couple weeks ago. So definitely the bloat makes you feel bigger than you are. And I also heard that it takes longer in your for your first to show. So like some days I feel like I look really pregnant, and I'm 14 weeks right now, and then like today I feel like I'm not as bloated. So I think because I'm eating more vegetables and not eating out as much, it's been helping. Also too, in the beginning of the day, I feel like I look less pregnant, and then like as the day progresses, I'm like, oh, pushing it out, feeling like I have a baby belly. So it's different throughout the day. But baby's still very tiny. So I think it's gonna one day just pop, and I'm gonna feel very pregnant and feel like I can't suck it in anymore. So But yeah, that's the baby bump, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I would love to know if you guys are pregnant or if you are a mom, and how many kids you have, the ages. Give me the details down below. So I'm just really excited. This is gonna be a crazy year, and thank you so much for watching. I will, of course, like I said, link all the products I mentioned down below, and that's gonna be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.